Okay, this is for Dr. Space 20, I believe. That's a good idea, right? That you want to help them be more creative playing out of the back. The key is to focus on developing their awareness so that they can make better decisions, right? And I think the way to do that is through fun, skills, games, right? If you can make practice fun and elevate their competitiveness, then if they're more competitive, if the level of competition is higher at practice than it is in games, they're going to have a lot of success. So I think the hardest part is recognizing whether or not they have the fundamental skills, right? Like if they can pass and they can dribble and maybe juggle, right? Those are, you could argue, are the fundamental skills, right? That you need to be a successful soccer player. And I think that's an oversimplification. But if they can do those things, then I think at practice, every practice, they need to do a combination of possession, a warm-up, possession, finishing on goal, crossing and finishing, and then playing to big goals. If they cannot, right? If their skills, if their dribbling skills are poor, if their passing and shooting is poor, and no one can juggle, then I think you need to switch your training. You need to shift your focus at training to develop their fundamental skills through skills games, because if you try and treat practice as if they have the fundamental skills, then you won't grow your team as much. So if the focus is like winning games as opposed to building instead of helping them develop and encourage their growth as players, then I think that's the wrong approach. So, right, you'd rather have them grow their skills and abilities and have them more confident in their play at the end of the season than at the start, right? I think that's the true test, right? Focusing on winning games is short-sighted. So that's the hardest part, recognizing whether or not, or just recognizing their abilities and then choosing the appropriate practice that will respect their current where they are, because then you'll have the most fun. And sometimes that gets tricky if one player is like head and shoulders above the rest, or one player is below everyone else, right? Like the outliers make that a little tricky. But I think that's the best way to go, right? Because you're saying that it's either you're saying that they're becoming robotic. It's like, okay, play out the back, play the wing, play the defender, play the wing, play the striker. And you're saying you want to encourage the goalkeeper to make better decisions, or at least different decisions, so that to encourage better play, which I think makes sense. But I don't think it's either one or the other. I think you gotta teach them to recognize time and space, and doing that starts with recognizing, right, back to what I said, you got to determine their abilities, and then if they have the fundamental skills, then they should spend an hour session on warm-up, possession, finishing on goal, crossing and finishing, and then finally playing to big goals. Three teams rotating with one team's bumpers. And if they don't have the fundamental skills, then it's warm-up, ball skills mastery, dribbling sequences, any juggling game, and then finishing with 1v1 to small cones, right? Cones that you can knock over, and then that's your hour session, right? And then a cool down. So right, that's what my gut's saying. I hope this helps, and reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.